Hey guys, I had started to get, well, over the last year since I added this Faure Daily Battle tote to my collection, I've had quite a lot of questions about do I still like it, and specifically most of the questions relate to people deciding whether to add a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, this is the size, or whether to get something a bit different in the Faure. So there are lots of really nice designer totes around, but the three that I think kind of get compared a lot are the Saint Louis by Goyard, because that has got a very similar kind of pattern that repeats all over it. Obviously, probably the most common of the three is the Neverfull, and then this Faure. And I only recently, like a year ago, when I ended up getting this, I hadn't really heard of Faure before. So they're an old French company. They've got good heritage, and then they've recently modernized and gone more into handbags and luggage and accessories. And I was just intrigued because I don't care about this stuff, about this being basic, but there are a lot of people who are drawn to this bag and they like it, but they won't buy it because they think it is just too replicated and they see it everywhere. If you live in a kind of urban environment, you do see these a lot. Or if you're going through an airport or somewhere busy, you'll just see a lot of people using this for travel. And for some people, I don't really care if my items are unusual or not, but there is a little frisson of excitement sometimes when you do get something that's a little bit off the beaten track or a little bit less commonly seen, because it can feel like you look a bit more unique when you put your outfits and that together. So I was intrigued when I saw this, and I'll talk about why. So I'm just going to try and keep it brief. Really, I love my Neverfull, but I find these straps, especially when they're in the dark treated leather, not great on the shoulder on me. Also, they're very similar in size, but you'll see that this is a bit longer. And therefore, when I put it on my shoulder, this is adjustable, which helps. But when I put it on my shoulder and I put my arm down, because it's a bit more slouchy at the base, I could just put my arm down and it just feels comfortable. Whereas this one, not so much in the GM because it sits a bit longer, and also my GM's got vachetta. The straps are a bit short, they're right into my armpit. But when I put my arm down, the base of the Neverfull's a bit wide and it just feels a bit awkward. So I tend to use this just in the crook of my arm or in my hand, and that's actually fine, like a shopper. But I do like the idea of having a sort of tote that I can throw on my shoulder. So when I started watching reviews of this, and I was really interested in how it looked, but I thought, let me see what people make of it. There are some definite pluses and minuses, and I'm just going to compare each point between the two bags because it might help you. Bit of background first. This comes in loads of different colours, but this sort of print repeating design is always the same. As I said before, the straps on it are adjustable, and you've got a wide range. So from right up here, so you can make it a short grab handle, which looks really chic, right up to, I've got another 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. You can make it a really long shoulder strap, and then if you had a huge big, like one of those Max Mara coats on or anything, it would still fit over your shoulder. It's really comfy. It's a bit more soft and slouchy, so it kind of slouches a little bit like that. I've noticed if it's really, really warm weather, this really softens and really pulls even more, whereas the Neverfull is kind of more structured. And as I said, the adjustable shoulder strap was the thing that drew me in, as well as just liking the fact that I hadn't really heard about it and it seemed a bit more unique. I watched a few videos on YouTube. I'll link some of the ones that really helped me, and it just made me intrigued. And obviously they're based in France. A couple of people whose videos I watched, particularly this lady in the States called Decorative Lettuce, she was talking about how there wasn't really a website, and she'd just seen it on someone and asked them, and had to kind of like almost phone a Paris store and inquire and get a catalogue sent to her. It's easier now. They have a translated website. They ship, I think, everywhere, and it was a really straightforward transaction. I did my homework, so I was pretty confident I would want to keep it. And I would say with mail order, if you're ordering anything from somewhere else, from outside your country, you know, do as much due diligence as you can, because it is a faff to return things internationally. But this is a pretty safe bet. It's a tote, and if you like the Neverfull style or size bag, you'll get on fine with this. It just feels a little bit different. So let's do similarities and differences. The size of the 37, there are 4 sizes, I think, 4 or 5 sizes in this bag. I went for the second to largest. The largest one is similar to the GM. This one is similar to the MM. And then there are 2 smaller ones. So if you're quite petite and you find even a Neverfull MM a bit overwhelming, you can get one that's a bit smaller. And then there's a tiny little one, which is like the little PM of this. So they are about the same size. If you look at the width across the top of the 2 totes, I would say it's comparable, about the same, but you'll see that the Faure Page is a little bit longer, so it's a little bit taller, and I find that that means, a bit like with the GM version of the Neverfull, I can get my hand, arm, my elbow into the body to hold the bag to me, and it's a bit more comfortable because this is a little bit more like rigid. I think they're about the same width, or maybe the Neverfull's a bit fatter. Maybe in the bottom or about the same. Oh, you can see that actually the base of that is a little bit bigger. It's the top is the same, that's it. But the Neverfull kind of slopes in like a boat more, whereas this is not as, doesn't come out as much like that. It's more of a sort of straight shape. It's not square, but I find it more chic in some ways, that shape. And you see how it doesn't wing out as much. Right, so what do you get? Okay, so let's talk about, we've done straps. This is adjustable. Also, it's a lot softer and more comfortable, I'm going to say. They're wider, just a tiny bit. And this, I don't think it's because the straps are thin on a Neverfull that they're a bit hard work when they're new. They're very rigid and they're very squared off on the edge. That, if I'm just running my fingers over it, it's hard and it's quite stiff. This is floppy, and where the glazed edge is, it's just all rounded and very malleable, so it's comfortable straight away. What do you get with the bag in terms of internal organisation, pockets, etc.? In the Faure Page, the lining, I don't know about the other colours, but the lining in mine is sort of cotton twill and it's black. And then I have inside just, oh, I still have the label attached. I haven't taken it off, but I'm not going to take it off. Yeah, this is grey Daily Battle 37. There's a, oh, it's 5p. There's a lovely leather flat pocket here, so you can put things down the, oh no, you can't, hang on, is that, no, that goes all the way through. Yeah, so it's like that, and it's just a flat pocket. It doesn't do up. That's the downside with this bag. It's got no closure between there and there, and if you put your small wallet, you won't get a full wallet in there. People could still just come along and put their hand down. So security, the Neverfull wins hands down. However, you have got a D-ring, so you can connect something to this, like a mini pochette, say, and put like your card holder or your money in there, so at least it's anchored to the bag in some way. But you do have to be okay with the fact that it doesn't close. Now, I am okay with that. I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. But I do sometimes find, I don't use it a lot, but I do sometimes find this reassuring, this clip in the middle of the Neverfull. It doesn't make a huge difference in that someone can easily still come up behind you maybe and slip their hand in, but it just pulls the bag together so that, for example, when I am driving and I have this on the passenger seat, I don't feel like that, just pulling that in means that if I suddenly brake, things are a bit less likely to fly out. I don't know, but on a daily basis, I don't really close that clip. However, inside the Neverfull, you do have a lovely big pocket that's got a zip. So that is your secure portion of the bag. And it is a much bigger pocket than in the Faure Page. Yeah, you can put a wallet in there or whatever, passport. You also have the D-ring like the Faure Page has, but you also get this leather sort of strap connecting to this flat pouch. There's mixed, I'm not going to get into the debate about this flat pouch. I think they are great. So, you know, the MM's got a lot going for it. This is just much more simple. It's softer, it's more squishy, it's got the adjustable strap, which is a huge win for me. If the straps are the perfect length for you in the then I think functionally this is a slightly better bag. It holds its shape for a long time, so you can use it with, it's just slightly more dressy, just because it does look like that bucket shape and it doesn't sort of collapse when you put it down somewhere. It's got extra details, like these are so typical of the style. It's got the closure at the top, a really good pocket and a pouch, so although it's a big bag, it's got a bit of organization. You don't get any of that with this, but what you do get is it's more unique. You don't see as many of them around. It's supple, which I actually find more comfortable for a shoulder bag. There are loads more options in terms of, I mean, there are different sizes and canvases in this, but there are lots of color choices in this one. So you can get blue, green, red, yellow, gray, black, and I think there's like a white, like a neutral one. So there are different ones, and I think they maybe do special editions sometimes. It's pretty. It's just so French and chic to me. I've got friends who don't really even do handbags. They're not into high-end handbags, and 3 or 4 friends have said when I've been wearing this, what is that? It's so nice. And it just feels a bit more under the radar, which I quite like sometimes. I wouldn't have Louis Vuitton bags that were just like Speedies and these and stuff if I thought they were basic or I didn't love them. But I do also like, for different places, different situations, different vibes, I do like this as a shoulder bag. And I wouldn't have bought it if the fact that it didn't close bothered me. The other thing is, because it's more subtle, if you look, because it's more supple, sorry, and this is more like a bucket, naturally it sits quite closed at the top. And I feel like because it doesn't wing out as much, when I'm wearing it on my shoulder, I don't feel like there's a huge area of the bag. And I know some people just sort of do that with the back. I just really like it. This pocket I do use, but it is very near the top of the bag, and I sometimes feel a bit sketchy that it is really easy for like a little card holder to fall out. But I do, nearly every time I use this bag, I tend to put my toiletry 26 in there, or at least like a mini pochette or something else that's got, I have a nice little chain that's about this long from Louis Vuitton, like an extender thing, and I'll attach that to this D-ring and then attach a different SLG. Like I'll often have my keys attached to that and stuff. So you can play around with your other accessories to kind of provide some organization in here. I'm sure there's things that I've not said. Wear and tear is difficult to comment on. These are both about a year old, not even, like 10 months old. And because of the pandemic, they haven't had as much use as I would normally get out of a tote. I have got several other totes. I've got like 4 other totes, a Neverfull GM, the tote you see in the background of all my videos with the smiley face on it from Hill & Friends, my Deauville from Chanel, and a couple of other non-branded, like non-designer ones. And they normally get a lot of wear all year round, but I'm not going to a gym, I'm not going out all day shopping, so I just haven't been using them. So wear and tear is difficult to comment on. There's a couple of differences. The bottom of this is all, apart from at the top, there's no leather near the base of this. The piping is in the canvas. This one, the piping is in leather all the way around, and then you've got these leather corners which help to give it a bit of structure in the corners, and looks really chic, but I don't know if they provide any. I know that when you get rubbing on canvas, you can end up with seeing the lining through and getting holes. So I guess it provides some protection, but it's not on the bottom where you set the bag down. It's only on the visible part, but it looks chic. You've also got these funny little, not on one side, you've just got like a little stud there, and then you've got the buckle to adjust your strap. But on the other side, you've got this little ladder there, and you can see daylight through it, and it's because you can thread charms and initials and things through. But because the bag is quite supple, I did see in one video the lady got like a tassel and her initial, and it was quite heavy on here, and it pulled the bag down. So I do have a few bag charms that I like, but I don't really feel the need to put anything on a tote that's kind of quite chic and minimal anyway, so I just wouldn't want to like hang anything on it extra. Yeah, so I think that's about it really. I really love it. I have absolutely no regrets. They're very different in that this is kind of quite cool toned because of the grey. I wear this with, well, everything, but it looks good with cool tones like white shirt, navy jumper, black, that kind of thing. Whereas nearly all of Louis Vuitton is very warm tones. If you think about it, the monogram, the Abine, 90%, 95% of what they sell comes with gold or brass hardware, quite yellow. So it pulls more sort of warm, but they're both, let's face it, interchangeable. Have I got a favourite? No, I wouldn't want to be without either of them. I'm glad I've got them both. But I do find this is a throw and go a bit easier because of the shoulder strap for me. If you're someone who finds a Neverfull digs into your shoulder and it annoys you, then do consider this. But I'm not bashing this bag at all. I love it. I just carry it like this or grab it in my hand. And as a mum who's often carrying other people's junk when life isn't like it is now, when we're out and about more, I find the Neverfull really handy. It's great for going on a plane. This I don't think is so good for, maybe for car travel, but for air travel I don't think this is actually that great because you can't close it. So if you were on a flight and you put it under your seat, the chances of you losing things is a bit higher than with this one. On the other hand, I do use pouches and stuff to organise my small items, and a trick that I'll often do is if I've got even if it's warm weather, I usually have a scarf or a shawl or a cardigan or something, and I tend to tuck that over my items so that like everything is like underneath that in the bag. So it's probably fine. I just wouldn't want to put a bag that doesn't have any closure, in an overhead bin above my seat. I think that things could easily spill out, and then in the chaos of everyone getting off the flight, you might not be the last person to look in that bin, and I could just imagine your favourite lip balm or whatever is like in the back of that thing and you didn't realise it had fallen out. You could say that about both of these, but you do have that clip at the top and you have already got a zipped pocket and the pouch to secure smaller things, whereas this you've got to put them in. Weight wise, if I just I haven't actually weighed them, but if I just take, because it's actually quite solid, this little SLG, even though it's flat, it's nice and thick and spongy. So let's just take that out. So when the two bags are empty, they really don't feel any different in weight. If I shut my eyes and just, nah, they're about the same. Price wise, I don't know, I haven't checked for a while, but this is over £1,000 now. I don't know, probably nearly £1,100. And this a year ago was about €900 including shipping, maybe 930 with the shipping. But obviously we were still in the EU then, so France to the UK it was only like €25, €30. I imagine if you're getting this to further territories away from France, you are going to maybe have to pay duties. I don't know what our situation is with duties. I haven't ordered anything from mainland Europe since we've completely come out. And I don't know about, shipping might be a chunky old charge for international shipping, but it's still worth it because it probably, even if you're in the States and you have to order from France, I think you're going to be under £1,000. So I think this is going to come out at marginally, at least about £100, I think, cheaper than this, but you do get the pouch. So the difference in price is probably that you get this and you haven't got a choice to buy it without that. So they're very similar in function, price. It's just that what this has that the Neverfull doesn't have is the adjustable strap. And this hasn't got an adjustable strap, but it's got a lot of more extra features like the pouch, the zip pocket, these little things on the side. It's what you prefer. If you use it more as a grab bag in the hand, I really like this. if you want to throw it on your shoulder, even in summer with a thin top and not have it dig into your shoulders, I would really take a look at this. And if you're someone who doesn't like the Neverfull, because you find, oh my God, I see them everywhere, I'm bored of looking at it, I see so many fakes. I have a lot of friends who say that. Then look at this, because it is more unusual. And I think the wear and tear on this, from looking at pre-loved pieces, the wear and tear on this seems to be, they seem to hold up better because they are a bit thicker and more sturdy than the Goyard ones. They're cheaper. The Goyard ones are super pricey now. But with the reinforced corners and stuff, I think this is going to last for ages if I look after it. So, and I love that it's a bit unusual. Yeah, that's kind of it really. I've rambled and repeated myself because as soon as I start filming, I forget all the things I wanted to tell you, but I love it. And when we go back to normal life, I could see me wearing this a lot. I love grey. It goes with loads of my nice SLGs. It's nice to get away from all the brown of Ibeen and Monogram sometimes, although I do love wearing this oatmeal cardigan. I mean, that just goes so nice. So there you go. If you have any questions that I haven't covered, then leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. But I will, probably not until a day or so after the video goes up. I'll go back in and I'll put some links and stuff like that. I'm not going to do measurements because all of that's on the website. So I know people often complain, not just on mine, but on other handbag reviews and comparisons that I see, asking like, how long is the strap, da, 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 da. Like all that information is available from the retailer, and I'm probably going to get it a bit wrong. So I'm not going to get a tape measure out and da, 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 da. But just know that you can take this strap from really short, like a little top handle, to longer than this, quite a bit longer than this, all the way down to there, more adjustable. So that is really great, but it just depends really. If you don't mind the fact that there's no security in this bag, you've got a slip pocket and it's completely open at the top. That's the main, or the only drawback for me with this bag. Anyway, I'll see you all in my next one. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.